Hey guys, what is going on? It's Lazarus here, bringing you yet another MLB The Show video, and it's another roster update video. And by now, I think you guys know how this goes. We're not going to waste any time, and we're going to get straight into the upgrade candidates. The first player on the list is Rays catcher Wilson Ramos, who in his last 7 games is hitting .558 with a .632 on base and a slugging of .824 with 1 home run and 2 RBIs. Since coming back, Ramos has been pretty good, and this hot streak along with his stats on the year, in my opinion, warrant him to get a slight upgrade. Next up, we have White Sox first baseman Jose Abreu, who in his last 7 games is hitting .368 with .417 on base and a slugging of .842 with 4 homers and 6 RBIs. And he's a guy who's been sneakily having a very good season. He's hitting almost 300 with almost 30 home runs, and no one's really been talking about him, partly because he is on the Chicago White Sox and they're not having too good of a season. But if he was on a contender, he would be definitely having an MVP type season. I definitely think he can go gold, so he should definitely be someone you should be looking out for. Next up, we have Twins second baseman Brian Dozier, who is another guy I think could possibly go gold. And that's because in his last 7 games, he's hitting .357 with a .526 on base and a slugging of .714 with 3 homers and 6 RBIs. Now, he's not having as good a season as he did last year. Last year, I believe he hit like 40-something home runs, but he's still having a pretty solid year this year, and he could definitely go gold based on the stats he has. The next player on our list is Nicky Delmonico from the Chicago White Sox, and I've got to be honest, before today, I have never heard of this guy, but he is absolutely tearing it up in the majors so far. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .304 with a .448 on base, slugging of .957, and he has 5 home runs and 6 RBIs. So for sure, he is definitely someone I'd keep on your radar, potentially for next year's game as well, if he continues to hit at this pace. Our next player is Brave shortstop Dansby Swanson, who struggled pretty badly early on in the season, but he's been picking it up ever since he got called up from AAA. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .381 with 500 on base, a slugging of .667, along with 6 RBIs and 6 walks. He's a promising young player with a ton of talent, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to go up. Next up, we have a player who's more towards the opposite side of the spectrum compared to Dansby Swanson, and that is Howie Kendrick, the veteran on the Washington Nationals. In his last 7, he's hitting .286 with .348 on base and a slugging of .762 with 3 homers and 5 RBIs. I know he had a walk-off grand slam the other day, so you could definitely see he's locked in. He's been on a pretty nice streak recently, so I could definitely see him getting a slight bump. Next up, we have the Brewers' young outfielder Keon Brock, who's been putting together some pretty good numbers recently. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .389 with a .450 on base and a slugging up over 1,000 with 4 homers and 6 RBIs. Now, all in all, he, along with a bunch of other guys on the Brewers, are having some pretty breakout years, so I could definitely see him getting an overall increase. Next up, we have former top prospect Byron Buxton, who for the first time in his career, it seems, is finally putting something together. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .355 with .364 on base and a slugging of .839, along with 3 homers and 6 RBIs. He's been hitting the ball very well, and along with playing his great defense, these two things could definitely lead to him getting an upgrade. Next up, we have one of the newest members of the Cleveland Indians, and that is Jay Bruce, who in his last 7 is hitting .345 with .387 on base and a slugging of .759 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. Now, I don't really expect him to go gold or anything, so I think he'll get a +1, but he'll definitely get some sort of a upgrade, as he has been killing the ball pretty nicely recently. And our final player is Rangers starter Cole Hamels, who in his last 41 innings pitched has a 2.85 ERA, and I know he did recently get downgraded, but if you look at those numbers, the 2.85 ERA, that's actually pretty darn good for an American League pitcher, because the American League, if you look at it, is a lot more hitter friendly just by looking at the stats, so I could definitely see him going back up. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Check out my Twitter and Twitch, both links will be in the description below, and as always, I'm out. Peace.